Okay, we are live. Hello, ladies. Welcome to next episode of She Did It web series. So every Wednesday, we bring to you an amazing entrepreneur who shares with us her story, how she got started, some tips and tricks, and so we're very excited to have today Katie Woodward with us. Hi, Katie. Welcome to She Did
Hi.
It Community. We are excited to have you with us. So we're going to get right in. And as you know, it's two girlfriends having a talk. So we met through Fem City. So we've had different Fem City members come in to share their story and do some webinars for us. So shout out to Fem City. Love being a part of that. And so, Katie, maybe you can start us off by telling us who you are.
Okay. Well, I'm Katie Woodward, and I own Second Life Marketing. So I've been in business about it over a year now, we would say. I don't even know now.
Time goes by so fast these days,
Yeah.
I tell you.
Yep. So I do everything from marketing, online and offline, and then website design and virtual assistant work.
Nice.
Yep. So
And
it's
so,
interesting.
love that. So, what was your previous life then? It's been a year and a half or so. So, what were you doing before? Because you're doing this full time now, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, technically, before I was doing this, I was actually in a therapy program. So I actually
Mm.
got a brain injury in 2018. So
Wow.
I started therapy at the end of December and was going through a rehab program. It's called On with Life. It's here in Ankeny, Iowa, and they only deal with neuro rehab. So I was sleeping and doing all the fun exercises that I had to do and go to rehab,
Wow.
just recovering, watching a lot of
Wow.
TV.
Yeah. Wow. That is really traumatizing, eh? Like the just having to go through this experience. It must have been really tough to kind of then reinvent yourself like that. Wow. Tell us more about that.
Okay, so I was helping my mom clean out her garden shed. It used to be my playhouse when I was little, and
Hmm.
I thought I had cleared the door and did not.
Wow.
And I hit the I came up and I hit my head right on the door frame, and I actually have an indent from it. So it's my badge of honor.
Wow.
But yeah, so I have, it's technically called post concussion syndrome. So
Okay.
it's prolonged concussion symptoms, but we don't know how long prolonged means. So it could,
Hmm.
some people are 6 months, some people are a year, some are for the rest of their lives. I mean, it all deals with your brain. So literally, however, you're using
Yeah.
your brain every single day, so it's very hard for your brain to heal. So obviously, I'm a different person than I was before the brain injury. I was always that kind of person that was doing 100 million things at once, and I would be running and I would hit that wall and I would just keep going. Like
Hmm.
iced coffee, Diet Coke, and wine. I swear that's all I drank.
Wow.
It was just one of those,
Interesting combination.
yeah, like it would be iced coffee in the morning, Diet Coke in the afternoon, and whatever I was doing at night normally was like a networking event or some kind of event here in Des Moines, or I was helping someone. And so obviously wine was included, or I was still working. So I used to actually work at a TV station here in Des
Okay.
Moines. So I was a national sales assistant. So I dealt with all the national companies and did all that fun stuff.
Mm.
So yes, but I mean, after getting my brain injury, I actually really learned more about myself and kind of how
Wow.
much I can actually take.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
when something changes like that in literally 30 seconds, it's kind of hard to take. I mean, I've always
Absolutely.
been kind of that person that I would like to have a plan. You know, okay, this is what I got to do to fix this problem, and this is how I'm going to do it. You know, when you have a brain injury, yeah, there's a plan, but there's no, okay, we're starting this date, and this is how it's going to finish on this date. You
That's
can't.
right.
So I've learned how to not be so controlling. I think that's how
Mm.
I was always kind of that person that I have to control
That's
everything.
right. Wow.
Now it's very hard to even control sometimes my own body. So, but you know, I've actually grown a lot better, you know, being a more like understanding person, I should
Mm.
say. You know, like I understand, you know, life is not going to be perfect,
Yeah.
you know, and I already kind of knew that. I was actually in an abusive relationship 7, 8 years ago. So
Mm.
one reason I do have my PCS now is because of that relationship too. But I'm just a clumsy person too. So when you fall and, you know, different things like that, your brain kind of just goes, yeah, I need a break. So
That's it.
kind of what happens. So,
Wow.
you know, I would not be here without, you know, support from my friends and family and all those fun people, especially my mom, that poor lady.
Mm.
You
Wow.
know, she gets the grunt of everything, of the frustration of everything, but you know, she's stuck through it with me.
That's it. Wow. And this really difficult challenge and really it's a tragedy that, you turned into triumph, from what I'm understanding. You've been able to take, the hardship of it and really turn it to your advantage and is it as a result of that you found your business and that now you're an entrepreneur?
Yep. So
Wow.
when I was finishing my therapy at On with Life, so at On with Life, they have your plan is for your life. So they try and get you back to at least 90% of how you were before. You
Okay.
know, so if you're a farmer, they want you back on that tractor, you know, possibly. You know, if you're an athlete, they want you back out there working, running, whatever you were doing. You know, and I have my marketing, you know, experience and stuff, and
Yeah.
and so we were trying to figure out, you know, what I could do. You know, I knew
Mm.
I could go back to my previous job. I was actually at a benefit administration place, and yeah, like no.
Yeah.
Call center type, and no, I was like, there's no way I could even possibly do that.
Yeah.
So we were okay. Well, what else can you do? So actually, one of my homework assignments was to build a website. Was okay.
Mm.
Well, let's see if you can still do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
It took me a little bit time, but you know, I did it, and I mean, it was good. I mean, I liked it. Everyone liked it. It was kind of like my resume site, just
Okay.
so, you know, it was easy, you know, just to see if I could do it. And they were like, well, okay, why don't you just do this? You know, because I was going to job interviews and stuff. And, you know, when people are like, well, do you think you can do this job? And you're like, I have no clue if I can do this
Mm.
job. You know, I was being very honest with employees
That's so good. That's so good.
because I didn't want to get in a position and then 3 weeks later, no, I can't do it.
Yes,
And they
absolutely.
spent all that training, all that money, and
Mm-hmm.
so understanding, that yes, I do have this, and yes, I have a lot of accommodations I would have to have with my job,
Yeah.
lights, computer, everything. So that's kind of how we started Second Life Marketing. So technically, we call this my second life.
Love that. I just love it. Oh, wow.
So, I was like, why don't we call it Second Life Marketing? So, yeah. So it's been an adventure.
I can imagine.
So, but I wouldn't have it any different. I mean,
Love it.
yeah, it's been hard, especially during a pandemic,
That's
you
right.
know, but, I just kind of put my big girl panties on and just keep
That's
going
it.
forward.
Yes.
So, yeah. So it's been interesting.
So what, so I mean, I find it so fascinating that, it was this tragedy that became that driving force for you to get into entrepreneurship. And, my question is like, what is what is the metrics that you use now to define your success? What does success mean to Katie now that you've been through this experience and you've decided to launch into something that you can do on your own terms, and discovering some of the things that about yourself, like you were saying, and I think that's amazing. So do you have a about that?
Yeah. So, I mean, how I define like my metrics is if I see my, client or customer that I made a website for or whatnot, and they're happy about it, I'm like,
Yeah,
yes, I did something good, you know? And like, I mean, I've always been like the assistant type. So I love helping other people. So if I can even just help you, go, hey, maybe this is what you should do, and they do it, then I get excited. Like,
that's
I'm
right.
the easiest person to make happy. Like, everyone laughs at how easy I am to, like, I get excited.
Yeah.
They're like, but I've always been like that. Like, you bring me like a
Okay.
soap
I
or
was gonna say, I was gonna ask if this is, a
no,
following from the injury or
no, I've always been that way. That if you bring me like an iced coffee or a Diet Coke or M&Ms, I'm like doing a happy dance.
that's right.
Like it is.
Yeah.
I'm probably literally the easiest person. And but now, with my business, seeing someone getting a new client and seeing them being happy, or
Yes.
even like helping them set up their social media. Even if I don't do it for them, I sit like, on a
Just set it
Zoom
up.
or do one
Mm.
on one with them and say, hey, this is how you do this. We're gonna go step by step. Then that's like gets me excited because then they can go do it on their own and it makes them feel more independent.
Yeah.
You don't have to,
Absolutely.
they don't have to email me or send me a message every single time they want to post something. Now
I
they know
love that.
that. So I get excited about that. So
That's really good. And you and me both, I think we're a lot alike in that sense. And, making sure that people are independent is really important, that you can bring them to that place of independence so that they don't have to depend on you for, simple things, and just being able to see them achieve something that you taught them to do is really, really very rewarding. So I definitely agree with you.
yes. I mean that's
Hmm.
I think that goes off a little bit off of my therapy because when I got my brain injury, I was a very independent person anyways. and then this happened. And when you have to, rely on your friends and your family
Yeah.
for practically everything, to take you to the store or even to go to the store for you because you can't because you have a headache or you're dizzy or you're just too tired to get out of bed, or things like that, or making me dinner. Like, I love to cook. Like, that's my, release. And when I could not even make myself dinner, I was like, I would get so
Yeah.
frustrated, or couldn't go out with my friends and they would have to come, to my house and just sit there. And yeah, I mean, they were more than happy just to come and hang out with me and, watch TV or color. Yes, I'm 33 years old and I had to learn how to color again
Wow.
because that helped with my eyes and stuff. But coloring on a Friday night, it's not the highlight of my,
For
life.
sure. Oh, wow.
you know,
Things that we take for granted, eh? Like when we're in perfect health and, those things that we really don't think twice about that we do. And when you lose the ability to do or have to relearn how to do these things, wow, it's definitely takes a lot of courage. So kudos to
yes.
you. Kudos to you, my dear. Like, wow, I'm really like impressed just to see how you've overcome this. And I'm pretty sure you use these things in your business. I'm pretty sure because, as you said, there's lots of challenges and it's, really an interesting journey and things like that. So
Yeah.
maybe you can share with us maybe one or two challenge that you face, now that you're doing this full time, you've gone out there, you've made it happen. And so you've gone through the 4 seasons now, so it's a year and a bit. And so tell us like what's some maybe one or two challenge that you want to share with us.
I would say probably one of my challenges is actually sometimes getting that motivation to actually work.
Mm,
Sometimes, I'm like, oh, I'm tired, like I have a headache, I need to lay down. But I'm like, but I have this, 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 and this, and learning to go, it's okay to put that off because you need to take care of yourself. Because I know
yeah,
if I take care of myself, then I get myself in bigger trouble. So,
that's right.
and actually, now, with this pandemic, it's hard to network, I used to
Mm,
network
yes,
online and stuff, but I'm a very big, face to face person
yes,
because that's just how I've always been. And so now it's trying to figure out how to network online.
yes.
I think that's one of my biggest challenges right now
I
is
can
I'm
understand that.
so tired of networking online and doing things online that I'm like, oh my God, so, I don't
Yeah.
know, where everyone else lives, but, here in Iowa, we're slowly opening up. So, we're slowly starting to get more, in-person events, but obviously there's very strict protocols, and
Yeah.
everything. So it's actually, that's one of my new challenges is I'm starting to set up some networking events in my company name, and I've never done that.
Nice. That's
I have always,
exciting.
helped somebody set up their own event, always
Yeah.
being that assistant type. So I think that's actually one of my challenges too, is getting out of that assistant role and being
Yes.
the owner. Like there's no
Absolutely.
one to rely on besides me and the dog and the cat, wherever the cat is. So I mean, it's a joke with my business that actually my dog and my cat are part of my business.
That's right.
My dog is my office manager, and my cat is HR. So
When you
it's
said that to me, I was just dead laughing.
everyone laughs at it, but it's kind of realistic right now, you know. It's like I have friends that have kids, and they're like they're my employees, and I'm
That's
like,
right.
have they always been employees though, you know? But
Yeah.
you know, so it's that's part of my brand. So I'm like trying to figure out, well, how can I get the dog involved in these networking events? Like everyone will come for the dog, not
That's
me.
right. True, true. That's a way to attract people.
Or, my 18-pound cat, everyone loves her. She doesn't love everyone else. So that's why she's HR, is because sometimes she can have a little attitude, and the dog's just the dog. So
That's right. Love
she,
that.
she's
That is
everywhere.
hilarious.
So, yeah. So, I mean, I think those are, my three challenges that, I have found because, trying to, run a business and do everything else, for
Yeah.
my business, actually working on client stuff,
Yeah.
trying to get new clients, working on your own marketing plan, your own this, you kind of forget. You're like, oh yeah, I have a client due in 3 days, like, because sometimes you're like, oh crap, like, because you are wearing all the
Oh,
hats,
the hats. Yeah.
like, I
Absolutely.
mean, I have a VA that I absolutely love her to death, but, there's some things I won't give her because it's my baby, this is my baby, and I mean, I love her to death. She does everything wonderfully of what I give her. And, she's very good at yelling at me. So I gave her permission, she could yell at me.
That's
And,
good.
but, when it's your business, it's really hard to give up things. Like,
Yes.
for like the first 2 months, all she did was my to-do lists. Like, because I was like, and now she's slowly gonna start doing my social media so I can focus on my client work
So important.
and starting new parts of my business. Because I mean,
Yeah.
with my background in TV, I know how, because that was my job. I did all of the placing of the commercials and everything. I put the contracts in, I made sure they all ran and everything. So I know how that works.
Yeah.
And then I also know how the online stuff works too.
That's
So,
right.
which is nice because I got double-edged sword here. And I actually
Love
did
that.
that like 2 weeks ago. I was actually sitting with a friend and she goes, well, Katie, don't you have experience with regular marketing? She's like, you worked at a TV station. Why aren't you using that? And I was like,
That's right.
yeah, why am I not using that? Why am I not? So it's always, that evolving thing. You get kind of
Absolutely.
stuck on one thing and you're like, I gotta get this perfect before I can move on. And nothing's perfect in my world.
That's
But,
you can't get it perfect. Like that is not even something that we should aim for. It's really a question of, functionality and being able to fulfill, whatever it is that we need to do. And, it's really interesting, all the points that you bring up, because all those challenges, when I started this movement, that was part of some of the things that I wanted to address, but with the pandemic, doing the online thing, just took another level in that. And that was a comfort zone that I needed to break, that everybody else needed to break. And then I needed to break that superwoman syndrome. And, as you were saying, just learn to delegate, learn to, teach and let go and let the person kind of do it on their own, and learn how to do things their way. And it was a process, and then being able to, offer this service, so that people can focus on what they're good at, and so, and the idea that, some people, they can at a certain point get that VA, to do these things, and sometimes they don't need like a full-time or even a part-time VA. They may need just a few hours here and there a month. And
Mm-hmm.
that's also, what we seek to fulfill as well, with what we offer. So definitely, it's really interesting how you brought all these things, and those are some of the things that we want to address. So love that, and really, I find that, you're basically emulating, even though those are challenges, but you took them head on, right?
Oh yeah, literally,
Literally.
literally. So
So
it just
I have to say, and again, kudos to you again, because
yeah, it just took a long time for me to actually joke about it. I mean, for
yeah,
the longest time, I would like get mad about silly things, but now it's actually like part of my brand, because I'm like, yeah, when my brain works, it actually works, and like ideas start going, and they're like, when your brain actually works, I'm like, yeah, it's working, and they're like, what? Because some people don't understand it, and they're like,
yeah.
you made that website with a broken brain? I'm like, yes, I did. It worked for half the time, And
Wow.
so, that's always kind of been me. Like, I've always kind of not made fun of myself, but, like joked, about different things with me. Like, I have celiac disease too. So trying to be on a gluten-free diet when you grew up in like a stock car racing family, so you know, everyone's like,
Mm.
"Oh, what can you eat? Can you eat cheese?" And I'm like, "Yes, I can eat cheese." Can you eat bread? No. Okay. Like, and so it's been interesting, even, after I, got my brain injury, actually being on a gluten-free diet actually helped my brain.
Good to
So,
know.
which was nice, because everyone was like, well, you need to go on a gluten-free diet. I was like, well, I've been on one for 7 years. So, like, that's nothing, But when they told me I couldn't have caffeine for 3 months, me and doctor might have had some words.
I can imagine.
Oh yeah, when after I did it, he told me I could not have any caffeine. So that was pop, coffee, nothing. And
Wow.
I was like, for how long? He's like, until I say so. And I'm like, what? Then what am I gonna drink? He's like, water, there's Gatorade, there's juice. Like, he's naming all these. And I was like, fine then. I was like, can I have iced tea? Like, no, there's caffeine in there. So I was like, so yeah, it's been, interesting. And this is the office manager.
Hello, office manager.
Can you say hi, everyone? Can you say hi, Hazel? Can you get down now? She's like, no, Mom. You're
Nope.
working on a Zoom call. So,
All right. So, do you have any advice for those that are watching us and maybe, are looking to make that jump? Some may not have had the challenges that you've had that kind of forced them into it, but they may be at a space where they're ready to take that jump, or they're wanting to start something, or maybe they're already in business, and because of COVID, there's so many things that have changed, and they are forced to make different decisions, and just change direction. What would you say to these people?
I would say, so I have a saying in my business. It's called "Just Keep Swimming." So
Hmm.
yes, it's from the Finding Nemo, but actually, when I was at On with Life, I heard one of the therapists say to the person served they were swimming, and he was, oh, I can't do it, I can't do it, and she goes, just keep swimming. So just keep moving, just keep moving forward, and get a good support system. I
Love
mean,
that.
I seriously do not know what I would do without some of my close friends and family, and get a mentor. So I have
Really,
several, that own businesses, and they give me advice all the time. And I love them for it, because
really
they
good.
have done it. They might be in business for, 10 years, and they can give you advice, and you can go to them and say, hey, I have this problem. How can you help me solve it? Or what can I do to prevent this from happening again? And
Yeah.
and remember to take care of yourself. It
Very
is
good.
it is okay to take a day off and just relax,
Yes.
and sit there and watch a movie, with your friends, with your family. I know a lot, you can't do with your friends right now, but your family, like, if you live with your family, spend time with them too, because that's going to give you kind of a recharge and go, okay, and do, I don't know if that's the technical word or what, but do brain dumps. So
Mm,
literally just sit down if you're having like a stressful time, and just sit down with either like your favorite movie on. I listen to like, music, and just write everything down. Don't worry about grammar or nothing.
that's right.
Just let that brain dump. And
Yes.
sometimes that is where you get your best ideas. And that's
Yes.
literally where I came up with the networking events that hopefully I'll be putting on, and that's how I came up with my business name too.
That's it.
Is literally just sit there and just let it go. Just have one notebook for that. I have one notebook, and you know, and I've done that actually ever before we started my company. I did that, when I got my brain injury. It was just a brain dump of, it can be, if you're mad about something, it just let anything go. Like, mine sometimes don't make sense, because you're just letting everything go. But then you can read back on and go, oh, okay, you know,
Yeah.
that's how I was feeling at that time, and now I feel a lot better about it.
That's
You
it.
know?
Love that. Yeah, that's definitely journaling is one of the key uh, instruments, that I use with my clients, and it's just phenomenal the results that come out of that, in many different ways. Thank you so much for sharing with us who you are. Just wonderful insights, from everything that you've been through. And it's just really lovely to see how you've turned things around and, are doing it and just allowing yourself to live that second life, and I just think that's amazing. And I know that many people will be inspired by your story. So where can we find out more about you? Where can we go? And,
So
just let us know. Yeah.
yeah, so you can. So I have an Instagram account, and it's called Second Life DSM. And then I have a Facebook, so it's just Second Life Marketing. And then my website is secondlifemarketing.com too. So
Easy. Easy.
easy. Yep. Or you can look up Katie Woodward, and it's me and a picture of the dog. So
Love that.
I
Thank you so much. Any final words before we go?
no, I mean, just everyone be positive, always try and have a positive mind. I know that's kind of hard to do right now, but really just try and keep positive and keep a smile on your face. So you don't want frown lines, and if you smile, then that positivity actually comes through. So I've learned that. Smiled during this whole thing almost. Almost.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Katie. Wonderful and wise words. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Even if you're watching the replay, thank you. And we'll be back next week, same time, 7 o'clock, Wednesday evening with another amazing woman entrepreneur. So again, thank you, Katie. And we hope to see you again in other ways in the movement.
Yes.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.